Hi guys, I hope you're doing well and waiting for another video on space news. Your wait is over because I have come back with another crazy week of Starship updates. After weeks and days of hard work, SpaceX is gearing up to launch the Starship into orbit, the biggest test yet for the ship designed to send humans to Mars and beyond. The whole world, including us, are waiting for the promised day that will be covered in this video. Let's find out. If you are new here, we warmly welcome you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so that you will never miss any of our latest SpaceX updates. Let's not waste a second and move on with the video. The firm is preparing for Starship's first orbital flight, which will see the under development rocket take off from the Starbase facility in Texas and land off the coast of Hawaii. On August 15th, CEO Elon Musk declared via Twitter that the ship would be ready for the flight in a few weeks, pending only regulatory approval. Musk first unveiled the predecessor to the ship in 2017 under the name BFR. SpaceX designed the fully reusable vessel to send over 100 tons or 100 people into space at a time. It can replace the firm's existing rockets like the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, while also taking on more ambitious goals like sending humans to Mars and beyond. The ship uses liquid oxygen and methane as its fuel, meaning that, in theory, astronauts will be able to go to Mars, use the planet's natural resources to generate more fuel, and then use that to return home, or possibly venture out further. The flight will be around 90 minutes. The special thing about this start would be the fact that both stages would be in use, the Super Heavy booster BN4 and the Starship SN20. The booster would ignite its Raptor engines for 2 minutes and 49 seconds, come down in the Gulf of Mexico and attempt a landing. Musk confirmed on Twitter that the team has decided the booster will use 33 engines to offer 500,000 pounds of sea-level thrust. These engines will all be the same, except for the outer 20, which will lack some of the more complex controls. SpaceX is not waiting around to start these missions. The firm is aiming to send the first humans to Mars by the mid-2020s, before establishing a self-sustaining city on Mars as early as 2050. It could all start with the Starship, and at around 400 feet when paired with the Super Heavy booster that lifts it away from the Earth. This thing is huge. It greatly eclipses the Falcon 9, which measured less than 230 feet tall. It's also powerful, with a lift-off thrust of 16 million pounds. SpaceX announced at the launch of the plans that it intends to collect as much data as possible during the flight to quantify the dynamics of entry and better understand what the spaceship is experiencing during such a flight that is extremely difficult to predict or accurately to replicate arithmetically. In comparison to the Saturn V, which is a rocket built by NASA, the Starship is taller than the Saturn V. It stands 394 feet, 120 meters tall, weighs 11 million pounds, and is made of stainless steel alloy. According to SpaceX, Starship will be the most powerful launch vehicle ever developed, and looks like this. In May 2021, a document from the Federal Communications Commission revealed the plan for the first flight. The ship will take off from the firm's Starbase in Texas, the launch facility, around 2 minutes after liftoff at 171 seconds. The Super Heavy booster will separate from the Starship. The ship will continue to complete a targeted landing around 60 miles northwest of the coast of Hawaii. The whole flight will last around 90 minutes. In December 2020, Musk detailed how the new Mechazilla orbital grabbing arm will help the Starship rocket. The goal is to catch the ship and its Super Heavy booster as they return to Earth. The technique could be an upgrade over the drone ships currently used for Falcon 9 boosters returning to Earth after missions. It's one of the most ambitious features of a spaceflight project, already breaking new ground. This week, the assembly of what has come to be known as Starship's Tower Quick Disconnect Arm only began in early July. Less than 2 months later, the finished base of that arm was lifted around halfway up the 145-meter, 475-foot tall launch tower and affixed to 2 sturdy hinges. That quick disconnect mechanism will likely sit directly on top of the brand new claw and stand several meters tall to span the gap between the top of the Super Heavy and Starship's umbilical panel. Two large actuating arms at the bottom of the arm's tip will be able to grab Super Heavy, stabilizing the massive booster during the Starship installation. Once firmly installed on top of the booster, the claw's missing quick disconnect mechanism will then move in to connect to the Starship. Of course, the quick disconnect arm is just one of, and the most minor of, three massive Mechazilla arms destined for the launch tower. While they will also give SpaceX far more flexibility to stack and manipulate Super Heavy as well as Starship in high winds and less optimal weather conditions, the ultimate purpose of those arms is to catch Super Heavy boosters, and maybe one day, Starships as well. History made. SpaceX launches 4 civilians on Inspiration 4 mission from Florida. At 8 p.m. on September the 15th, 2021, SpaceX launched Inspiration 4, the first all-civilian mission into low Earth orbit. The 4-person cruise mission, including orbiting Earth for 3 days before splashing down off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean. SpaceX completed this historic mission with the first all-civilian flight crew last weekend. The 4 members of the Inspiration crew raised $200 million for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and helped prove SpaceX founder Elon Musk's belief that non-professional astronauts can venture into space in regularity. Every successful mission has its learning moments. One key takeaway from a 3-day trip into space: spacecraft bathrooms aren't ideal whatsoever. In response to followers asking about the mission, Musk tweeted Monday night that the Inspiration 4 crew had some difficulties in the bathroom and promised upgrades for future missions. The last hurdle for SpaceX is an approval from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. The FAA has realized a draft environmental review of SpaceX's program in Boca Chica, Texas, and it's now hosting a 30-day public comment period that ends on October the 18th. The FAA is clear. SpaceX cannot launch the Starship/Super Heavy vehicle until the FAA completes its licensing process, which includes the environmental review and other safety and financial responsibility requirements. The FAA's draft, PEA, paints a positive picture. In the summary of environmental consequences, the agency does not expect a significant impact in any of the listed categories. In other words, it's not likely to have a big effect on the nearby environment. What this means for the launch schedule. SpaceX's chances of getting all the clearances are not confirmed. If the company can obtain it, the orbital flight might take place before December. That's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a like and let us know your opinion about it in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications button for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again.